Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. This is going to be great. We're going to be doing some remote viewing, exploring some targets. So please just make sure you're in a nice, calm environment with minimal distractions. Yes, Gaia, I'm speaking to you. Okay, awesome. So what we're doing today is scientific remote viewing. It is a process where you're remote viewing using the scientific process, the structure that we have here at Farsight. So we always start with a meditation. It's crucial that your mind is in a very calm state so that you can pick up the information that you receive. Otherwise, if there's a whole bunch of noise in your mind, thoughts, it might be hard to differentiate the thoughts from the actual data that's coming through. Everybody can do this, right? And remote viewing is our God-given right, Some people may be stronger than others, but everybody can absolutely do it. So we're very excited to get started. All right, so starting with the meditation, it's a three-part meditation. We start with a body massage, just kind of to wake up your chi, your life essence, and get that flowing through your body nicely. And then we move on to the pranayam, the alternate nostril breathing, and that is really, really good at balancing the right and left hemispheres of your brain. And then we use a mantra to really settle into the meditation. So usually the meditation process, you have to do it. If this was like a full-on session, ideally a minimum of like 30 minutes so that you can really settle into the meditation. The longer the better, but just for practice sake, we're gonna do a much shorter one. So let's get started. I see somebody saying they only hear music. It might be their internet, but please just affirm one more time before we get started. Is audio okay? One more time. Audio is good. All right, thank you. So please check on if you have audio problems. Check on your side. Make sure you're turning it up all the way. Make sure you have a good connection. All right. So let's get started with the body massage. So for our bodies, the left side of your body is represented of the feminine and the right side is the masculine. So if you are a female, start with massaging. You're going to start with the left side. If you're male, you're always going to start with the right side and then moving on. So you're going to start with your head actually. So massaging your head. Be gentle, obviously. Don't injure yourself doing this. Massage and then always come back to the heart. You just kind of circle out, all right? And then you're gonna move on to, male, you massage your right hand up your arm, female, left hand up your arm, right? And then always come back to the heart. Bring that energy back to the heart. And then the other side, back to the heart. And now you're gonna move on. Left foot up the left leg or right foot up the right leg. I'm not gonna do it because I can't at this time, but just go ahead and do that. Okay, now once you're done with that, just make sure you're nice and comfortable in your seat, and then you're just gonna hold your left palm upward on your lap, and then you're gonna take 2 fingers and you're gonna block off your right nostril, exhale through the left nostril and inhale through the same nostril, and then switch over. So it's gonna be exhaling, inhaling, block, exhaling, inhaling. Let's just do this for like 30 seconds because it really is. You can tell there's a difference before and after. Usually it's really good at just kind of like mellowing out your brain also. Just keep it going. Bring your attention to your breath and just stay connected. Let your breath ground you. All right, then just even out. To end it, make sure you're exhaling through the left. Okay, awesome. Now moving on to the third part of the meditation is the mantra. So the mantra we use, pen's not the best. Shanim Mana. So Shanim Mana is a set of sounds that is meant to calm you and bring you back to the present moment, and kind of also bring the energy back to the heart. And because of the certain, how this sounds, Shanim Mana, you're able to do this even if you're in a busy environment, even if you're like in a loud, noisy place. So just take a few deep breaths in and close your eyes and just say Shanim Mana. And you can say it a few times outwardly and then move the mantra inward. Shanim Mana. Shanim Mana. Just focus on the words. Your mind will wander, but just try and come back to the mantra. Shanim Mana. We're just going to do this for a few minutes before we get into it. If you're joining us right now, we're doing brief meditation to get your mind settled before we go into the actual practice. So just settle in. I have the mantra up on the light board. Shanim Mana. Shanim Mana. If you have any thoughts that pop in, this is completely normal. Just notice them. Don't try to stop them. Don't try to block them. Just notice them, let them pass, and then bring your attention back to the mantra. Shanim Mana. Just keep going for a few more minutes. Just surrender yourself to the meditation. All right, you can slowly start to come out of your meditation. Try and maintain that sense of calm and serenity within yourself. In the future, if you want to start meditating prior to these live streams, I would highly encourage that. It makes a huge difference. And just meditating, making that part of your daily routine is also something that will have a tremendous impact in your life and your well-being. So if you can get to a point where you're just mellow, where you're calm, you might even be able to just, remote view on the fly, right? Just stay connected to all that is. Yeah, all right. So just so I can get started for the sake of time, scientific remote viewing has a set of procedures that are crucial to the collection data processes. One of those are ideograms. Now, in a full class, I would be able to go through all our ideograms. So, and just to kind of, we're not going to do an ideogram drill today. I'm going to just use we're going to just use a dot to probe. But for anybody who is curious, ideograms are a set of very, how do you say, they're kind of line drawings, right? So we have an ideogram of a subject, mountain, water, structure, land, energetics. Those are pretty much the standard ideograms. We also have movement, which can be either upward to the side, such as land, or to the bottom. And what these ideograms do is they outline what's exactly at the target. So the ideogram is usually, it's accompanied by the 8-digit coordinate number, and the purpose of that of the coordinates is just to anchor your mind. So when I call out the ideogram, the target coordinates, it would be like you're just focusing on that so that the ideogram can fly out. And ideograms, they'll trace what's on the actual target and are also one of the most reliable forms of data that you can get in a session. So if you start practicing, even if you get like a weird ideogram, pay attention. It's telling you something. It's literally showing you what's on the actual target, right? So, but for today, like I said, these things, they do take time. And maybe we'll do another class where we're really focusing on this. But for today, I really want us to get into an actual target and into an actual target so you can get the feeling of perceiving something, that's at a different time and space. So I'm gonna give you the target coordinates. So for the first target, so let's do target number 1, and the target coordinates will be 1404 3290. Sorry, Emily, that's hilarious. Your ideograms come out violently. I guess that's a good thing, right? You don't get time to think about it. So you're just gonna write this anywhere on a blank piece of paper, and when I ask you to probe, you're just gonna press down on this like so, right? So take a deep breath in, and we're gonna say the Farsight mantra together. It'll just get put up on the screen in just a little bit. And while that's coming up, energetics, the energetics ideogram represents anything that's producing a large level of energetics, something like fire, heat, explosives, multidirectional movements such as like a tornado or a hurricane. That will usually come out in an energetic ideogram. It's telling you there's something here that's like producing a lot of energy. All right, so go ahead and say your SRV affirmation and just let that sink in. I am a spiritual being. Thank you. Because I'm a spiritual being, I am able to perceive beyond all boundaries of time and space. My consciousness is ever present with all that is, with all that ever was, and with all that ever will be. It is in my nature as a human to be able to perceive and thus to know all that there is to know, everywhere at all time. I seek to learn and thus to evolve, to further my own personal growth and to assist others in their growth. I direct my attention to a chosen point of existence. I observe what is there. I record what I find. All right, so that is such a powerful mantra, honestly, a powerful affirmation, I should say, because it like literally tells you of what you are capable of. And as the sooner you make that into your reality, you know, it's belief has a lot to do with what you're capable of. So yeah, kind of reprogramming yourself to be like, this is my reality, you know. I can observe what's in another time and space, like even a different galaxy. It really doesn't matter. This is what you're capable of. So take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Let that energy go. Now, I have a target here. I'm going to direct you on what to look for, okay? Try and stay focused. Focus your mind on this particular thing. The way SRV works is you're building up, you're probing every single element, starting with the base surface. You're probing for land, water, subject. Nothing is ever like, oh, no, this is here, you know, or I have a bunch of structures with a bunch of subjects. You can. The whole point is to focus in your energy, focus in your consciousness to observe what exactly that is there, especially in the beginning when you're new at it, and you're building a puzzle. At the end of your process, you're gonna have a pretty complete picture, and it's gonna be accurate because you took the time to look at various elements. Okay, now probe your dot. I want you to look at the base surface. Base surface can be land or water. This is just you're looking at a base surface. Do you have a base surface? Like I said, please stay focused on what I'm asking you to look for, right? This is what SRV is. So do you have a base surface? Is it level or irregular topography? A level topography would appear quite flat. Irregular topography would appear kind of like it has ups and downs. Once you write that down on your paper, is there land here? Feel into the land. Is the land natural or man-made? Does it look natural, or does it look like it has a bunch of, that it's been constructed, that there's an impact, that, you know, a man-made element in this land? And is the land level or irregular? Just take a look at it. You're going to perceive if the land is like has ups and downs, if it's flat. And always go with your first impression, okay? But the first impression is going to be the most correct, because this is the conscious mind hasn't interfered yet and been like, I know what this is. It's gonna always try and it's always gonna try and take over a session. All right, now go ahead and probe for water next. Is there any water in this target? Is there water? If you do find water, probe to see if the water is extensive. If it's extensive, would you call it a land-water interface? Land-water interface meaning you have a large body of land and a large body of water, right? And they're facing, kind of like a land-water interface would be like an ocean, you know, the sea facing land, or a large lake, for example, even a large river. And I would love if you could put your findings also in the chat, just so I can guide you here and there and keep tabs on your progress. And these probes are quick, okay? So I'll be moving along pretty quickly, because the longer you take, the more time you're allowing for your mind to come in and take over. All right, let's move on. Are there any structures here? Structures can be buildings. Are there any structures here? So for any high level, any data that is too high level, you want to deduct it. So focus on describing and not identifying what's there. So a good example, Gaia, you say bright light, distance, just stick to those low level information, bright light and distance. Tunnel, you're going to write D dash whatever your deduction was. So this is, you're saying that there's something here that reminds you of a tunnel, you know, as an example. And then with deductions, you want to look at what's reminding me of a tunnel in this particular instance, right? And then you can write that down. Deductions are rarely correct, but there's always something in the deduction that makes you think of the actual target. Okay, so structures. If you find multiple structures here, is this a city? Just probe. Does it give you the feeling of a city? Press down on the pen and just like see what you get. Everybody's going to have different strengths on how they perceive. You know, you might be very clairvoyant. You might be a clairaudient where you hear very well, or you feel into it, or you just kind of have a knowing. However it is that you perceive, lean into that, you know, don't try and force, like, I want to see. That comes with time. All right. Okay, so, yeah, let me know. Last time, how I said probe for city, right? Is this a city? And while we're doing that, let's probe for just the general environment. General environment can be natural, it can be urban. It can be like a harsh natural or a harsh man-made environment. So just go ahead and probe for general environment, pressing down at the dot. Is this place, is it natural, man-made, is it a natural, urban, harsh natural, or harsh man-made? If you feel like it's a mix of one or more things, go ahead and write that down. Okay, now let's probe for temperature. Would you say that this is warm, moderate, or cold? Feel into it. You can like, while you're pressing down, you can even like kind of stick your hand in there. Does it feel hot, moderate, or cold? Okay, so now I'm going to teach you something else. This is called, before I get into that, I'm going to do that last. Probe for mountains. Is there any mountains here? We all know what mountains feel like. That's literally how, it's that impression that you already know. it's gonna be something that kind of like brings that familiarity of what you know, and that can be sometimes how you perceive the data in a remote viewing session. Are there mountains? If you find a mountain, check. Is it one or multiple? Okay, everybody's doing really good. Just keep going. Don't give up. All right. Now, you're gonna put your pen down and just hold your hands flat on the whatever surface you're working on. We're doing what's called a hands grab. So I'm going to direct you to a certain location, okay? We're gonna call this location X. And just for the sake of helping you, this is structure X, okay? You have no idea what structure X is, only I do. But I'm directing you on how to pick up a shape of anything. We call this a hands grab. You can use this to grab onto like somebody's face, right? If you have a subject here and you want to like make sure, do they have facial hair? You know, do they have glasses? As you like literally reach in and touch. For this, we're trying to establish the shape of a structure, all right? So how you're gonna do this is place your hands flat on your surface, take a deep breath in, and then while you're exhaling, just let your hands shoot up and they're gonna trace whatever structure X is, right? What I'm doing right now is not structure X, okay? You're just gonna trace up and down, side to side, move your hands around, and then draw what you find. And while you're doing this, keep your mind out of it. You're just observing. You're just observing what your hands are doing, okay? Sorry, throat itches. So go ahead and do that. Deep breath in. When you exhale, let your hands shoot up. Just watch what your hands are doing. And then do a quick sketch. Move up and down. Is this structure, does it feel, is it like a standard shape, or is it an odd shaped structure? Move up and down, touch the top, like really, like if you could shrink this and hold it in your hand, what shape would it be? And this is a structure, remember? That's what we're probing, is structure X. If you want to write down structure X and put a dot next to it, like so, to kind of supplement the hands grab, just do that. Structure X, put a dot. Feel into it. Let the perceptions come to you. You just have to be alert enough, aware enough to catch those perceptions when they come to you, because they can be very fleeting. Okay, awesome. Ooh, super interesting. All right. Analytical. Lincoln Memorial is a deduction, D dash Lincoln Memorial. And then ask yourself, what is it about the Lincoln Memorial that is reminding you of the structure X, right? Always break it down. The lowest level information will be the most correct. Let's move on to a flash sketch. So for the flash sketch, try and kind of, wherever you have space on the page. So let's say this is your page, right? Put a dot at the top. Now you're going to press down on that dot. Breathe in. As you exhale, angle your head at a 45-degree angle, and it's a flash sketch for a reason. It comes and goes within a second, okay? You have to like really be in awareness. Remote viewing is all about being in the present moment. That's the only way you do this thing, right? As soon as your mind wanders, you're gonna write down your thought and not the actual data. Okay, and you can do that as many times as possible. Hold your pen down on the dot. This is kind of how you make contact with the target. Angle your head. Let it come to you. Hopefully you don't have like a bright light right in front of you because it'll whitewash the whole image. And then go ahead and draw. Just do a quick sketch of what you're seeing. Try and include the elements that you already found in the previous findings, you know, land, level, irregular, structures, mountains, all that kind of thing that we went through. I'll just give you a few seconds to finish up because we have 2 more targets after this. And if you need to move closer or further away, you can always give your consciousness instructions. You can say move at the optimal distance to view this target, because sometimes you might be like super close to it, like looking at the structure. Let's say you're looking at it like super close, right? Back off a little bit. And then once you're done, yep, very good. Just keep writing down your findings. That's good. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a reveal now so we can move on. Let's see how you guys did. In my opinion, everybody's doing pretty well. I can definitely see some hits here. And the target is Rio de Janeiro and the Jesus Christ, how you call it, statue. So, let me go back. Miriam, you said Lincoln Memorial. It's also a statue. Good job. Joshua, statue of a person. Amazing. Everybody had some pretty good findings here. So even something like if you say a tall structure, that's good. This is a tall structure. So just to break down the elements here, we have a land-water interface, irregular topography. This whole region is very mountainous. This is a urban environment, although it's nestled within a natural environment. So if you said natural and urban, that was really good. And as you can see, this is structure X. You can see, like, to get to this particular location, you go right in the middle of the canyon. So you wouldn't only pick up what I'm showing you in the picture, right? Your consciousness would be at this actual location. So you would pick up more. But as long as you have some sort of verifiable data that you were here, that's good enough. There, Gaia, just to address something you're saying, I can literally see a tunnel in the picture. It's somewhere on the left side. It's really small, but it's there. So good job on that. Temperatures here, you tell me what the temperature was. You know, you were the one who was there. It's sunset, so I would guess it would be moderate to maybe slightly chilly, but was it summer when this picture? I can't verify temperature at this particular image. Awesome, good job everyone. All right, so I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna move on to our next target. Everybody's doing so good. Make sure you're keeping that sense of curiosity. Try and maybe, if you want to, take a few deep breaths right now. Track your breath. Let that ground you for the next target. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything. Even though when we start with the second target, I'll be on task. Make the most out of the time we have, right? Okay, target number 2, here we go. All right, so the target coordinates for this will be here we go. Write that down on your piece of paper. If you can't, use a separate, like turn it over or use a separate piece of paper. If you can cross-contaminate if you're using the same thing, so you might still keep getting data from the last thing. All right, so take a deep breath in, make sure you're nice and calm. Okay. Before we move on, I guess I'll answer a question. How long did it take for me to get to the level I am now? I've been doing this for about 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in the summer. Have I used a pendulum? Ooh, I have in a target. I did this forever ago when I was unsure, very, very unsure of what I was getting. So occasionally, if I wasn't sure, I would use a pendulum. Yeah, so it's cheating though. Don't use a pendulum. You're a remote viewer. You're supposed to be able to get this data by yourself. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get started. Write down the numbers, put down a dot. Pressing down on the dot, is there a base surface? Is it level or irregular topography? Probe. Your probes should only take like maximum 3 to 5 seconds. Longer than that, your conscious mind will take over, I assure you. And once you start dancing with the conscious mind, that's all downhill. You're just gonna keep making up stuff, okay? Now, next, probe for land. Probe for land. Is this land natural or man-made? Is this land level or irregular topography? Does it look quite flat? Does it look like it has mountains or canyons, you know, ups and downs? If you think it's somewhere in the middle, like literally don't edit yourself, you know. A good rule of thumb is open your lens, your mental lens. Let the data flow without editing anything out. The moment you edit something out, it's usually like correct data that your mind is doubting because it didn't come from the mind. It came from like the consciousness, you know, the subspace mind where remote viewing operates. Okay, is there any water here? Try and sense into water. You can reach your arm, you can reach your hand, your mental hand, right? And do like a little wavy thing. If you feel water, if there is water here, you'll feel the texture of water following your fingers. All right. Are there any structures here? Probe for structures. Just probe the dot and observe. Does it feel like there's any structures here? And then probe for city. Is this a city? Does it feel like, you know, multiple structures and subjects and a complexity, a level of complexity? All right. Let's probe for the general environment. Would you say this environment is a natural environment, an urban environment, harsh natural, harsh man-made? What does it feel like? Is there foliage here? Just probe and see. Do you perceive any foliage? You know, plants, trees, grasses, bushes, shrubs? And then maybe you can check, um, is is there a lot of foliage or not so much? You know, is it sparse or extensive? Harsh natural would be something that is either it's an extreme environment, basically, either too hot or too cold. So a desert, harsh natural. Icy landscape, harsh natural. Harsh man-made would be like the same thing, but it's like too extreme on the man-made level. Something that is, oh, the environment is almost hostile, you know? All right. Let's do atmospherics for this one. You're gonna probe the dot. Take a deep breath in. What does it smell like? Is it natural smells, man-made smells? Is it smoke or burning? Okay. Just make sure you're writing everything down. All right, let's see here. Probe for energetics as well. Is there any sort of energetics here? Just feel into it. You're focusing on energetics. That is, energetics can be fire, heat, a lot of movement, maybe, you know, like a multidirectional movement. You will, with energetics, at least in my case, it's a little bit easier to detect because it produces a large amount of energy. Okay, we're gonna do a quick exercise here before we move on. I want you to move inside the land and just write down, this is gonna be just a virgin probe, right? Because there's so many things you can do with remote viewing. This is definitely, you know, one of them. Move under, okay, hold on. I gotta get more organized with this. Let's say move, this is what you're gonna write. 500 feet below target, put a dot. Just to kind of give you a sense of what the land feels like here. And then just write what you feel. Just open yourself up for like what this feels like, this 500 feet below the target. And then write down. Just keep it low level, right? Keep it so low level. If you're perceiving colors, if you're perceiving a certain kind of texture. Okay. Now, because we're getting tight on time, move on to your flash sketch portion of this. On your page, put a dot. Press down on the dot, close your eyes, angle your head at a 45-degree angle. Be in the present. Keep yourself in the present moment. Then just draw what you have. Snickle Fritz, hello. A dam is too high level. Deduct dam and then write down what is it here that makes you think of a dam, right? There's something that's low level that's correct. The overall deduction is not. All right. Let's go ahead and do a reveal. All good deductions though, honestly. So here we have, this is the Midway Geyser in Yellowstone National Park. So it's above a super volcano, right? I can tell you from having been here, it smells terrible. It smells like rotten eggs and sulfur. So there you go for the atmospherics. But if you are getting, so it is a national park. It's a slightly irregular topography, natural land. There are structures here and there, but unless you move outside of the park, it's not going to be anything like a city or urban environment or and we have the movement underneath 500 feet below target. You would have been able to detect movement of, probably you would have been, I mean, the whole, it's a super volcano, you know, so fluid, whoever said fluid, amazing. Let's see, Pompeii, that deduction is really good. Hard to breathe, good. I'd say that's definitely a hit. Intense water movement, very good. Hot movement, sulfur, volcano, wet and warm, rocky, dark dirt, campfire smell. You guys did so good. Oh my gosh. So life solutions. Oh, sorry, Tanya. It's a matter of like getting out of your own way, because I know you'd be able to perceive. Everybody has this ability. Maybe it would be like teaching you how to perceive. We might start there with you, right? And giving you a few simple exercises. However, if you just meditate for at least 20-30 minutes, you will get some sort of perception. The problem is, are you going to trust that perception? You know, because you might get it and you might just be like, no, that's nothing. Just shoo it away like a bug or something like that. Awesome. You guys did so good. Good job. Take your wins, you know? So hilly, grass, mountains, energy. That's not off at all. Don't be so hard on yourself. This is a lesson. This is a learning environment. You're not going to get everything, but something like that is amazing. All right. Next, we're going to move on quickly to our final target. You guys are on a streak. Good job. Harness this excitement and this power that you're in right now and try and make that a daily thing. You can always practice in some way or another, you know. Go to farsightprime.com. There's a bunch of free, not free, you have to have a subscription. There's a bunch of training right there. Go to farsight.org and you can access the SRV training right there. There's a bunch of resources, you know. I know working with an actual instructor, it's not cheap, obviously, but that shouldn't stop you from learning. I mean, we do these instructionals pretty often, and that can be a really good way for you to get started. Okay. Again, please move on to a blank piece of paper to avoid any cross-contamination. All right, here we go. Take a few deep breaths, please. Okay, now for this particular subject, the target is a subject, okay? So I didn't give anything away. It's a subject. So you're gonna write down, just to kind of get you into that deep mind probe. Those are so much fun. Subject X, put a dot. Now, take a few deep breaths. Try and empty your mind. Try and like just keep track of your breath a few times. In, out, in, out. Settle down. Settle into your awareness. Okay, now we're gonna start with probing this dot. Like you see here, this particular target is a subject, but we're gonna start with describing what the subject's physicality is. So probe the dot. Are they male or female? No number for this one. You can just use subject X as your takeoff point into the target. So feel into their energy. Do they feel like they're male or female? You can take a look at their body. You can touch their face. Just again, while probing the dot, just reach in with your mental hand and touch their face, especially like chin, nose area, to kind of establish, because sometimes it's tricky. It's tricky to know if someone is male or female. Because like, especially if you're going off of the energy, all people have both the essence of male and female within us, right? It just one overpowers the other. And for females, you can have a more masculine energy within you. Same for males, right? Okay, go ahead and look at their clothing. What does their clothing look like? You can actually touch it. Does it feel like it's a soft texture, hard texture? What is their skin tone? Just try and perceive their skin tone. Is it light hues, darker hues? Feel their hair. Do they have hair? Does it feel short or long? Is it light colored hair, dark colored hair? Take a look at this subject's surroundings. What do their surroundings look like? Are they alone? Are there other subjects around them? Are they in an enclosed space? Oh, yeah, take a look at the color of their clothing as well. All right. Now, right next to, actually, let's start with a quick sketch. Just while probing this subject X, put a dot, try and draw out this subject. What do they look like? Oh, a good question, Adams. You are perceiving this subject at a particular space and time. I'm looking at an image, right? You're perceiving this subject at the time the picture was being taken. But that's a great question because you have to, you're not just perceiving the subject at any time on their life, this person's life, right? You're perceiving them exactly when I'm looking at the picture. Okay, if you've drawn them, Gaia, it's not me. I'm not the target. For sure, I'm not the target. Just go back in. Like, shake it off. Shake off whatever energy is there. Just probe and try and see. Try, like, touch. You might like, if your mind is too active, maybe just try and touch around their body, their, everything. Okay. Now, moving on. Let's do a deep mind probe. give you guys a taste of telepathy, yeah? So press down on the deep mind probe. What is this person like? At this moment in time, what are their thoughts, emotions, feelings? You can even like ask yourself, like pose it as a question so that your mind knows exactly what to look for. What's important in this person's life? So pose it as a question. What's important in this person's life while you probe the dot? Do they feel like a nice person? A friendly person? In this point in time? What's their general mental flavor, right? What kind of person do you think they are? And you can kind of picture it. How I like to picture deep mind probes is I pierce the skull and then I start swimming and I go deeper and deeper. So this person might be showing a certain facade, but their deeper person might be completely different. Everybody does this, right? Like you show up as one person, but you might be like, as a deeper person, it might be different from your talking too much. Just go deeper is what I'm trying to say. Okay. And then ask yourself, what is this person trying to achieve in this moment in time? What is this person trying to achieve in this moment in time? Rooster, your question is, you would have to know. You'd have to know it's a person to probe. You'd have to know it's a subject. And you'd have to know that because you would have followed the procedure to describe the environment, and then you would have picked up subjects, and then you would have gone into the subject's mind. This is a very, very condensed version of the actual course. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and put the target up on screen. Whoever deducted me or Aziz or Courtney, that is so insulting. Do not want to be deducted for this person. It's Hitler. Yeah, so this is Hitler in Berlin, January 30th, 1942, Sports Palace speech. And a little excerpt is, it became a sharp reckoning with the plutocratic, warmongers, and enthusiastic declaration of the size and power of National Socialist Germany. So this was like right in the midst of terrible things that was happening, and yeah, all of it. So there's some really good let me see here, some really good descriptions. This, like, if you scroll through, you can really find fake, proud, successful. Let's see. Donna, male, wide nose, cotton silk clothes, medium to dark hair. That was pretty good before your deduction. Enclosed space, other subjects around. Very good. All right. Everybody did such a good job. Like, Miriam, I'm sorry. It's a terrible target subject. I know, but we have to explore everything, right? I mean, there's people like this who live amongst us, a lot of people like this, so we can't put ourselves in bubbles as much as we want. Oh, good job, everybody. Really, really good work. So, take some time and then revisit your notes. You're gonna see that honestly, you probably got a few aspects correct there. You know, it takes a lot of practice. And with everything considered, you did this in a very short amount of time. You didn't even get to really, I think we meditated 5 minutes, and for people to get such awesome results in such a short amount of time and in such a short meditation it's a huge win. So, I can maybe answer like a question or two, because I know we're out of time, and also want to give you guys your time back. If you want to reach me for any kind of formal training on our courses, you can reach me at intisamsrv@gmail.com. It's up there. I have a sorry, I'm still chuckling at the chat. I have a group class. Group classes are somewhat, like, typically a little cheaper than just like straight up one-on-ones with me. I have a group class next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you're welcome to reach out to me for any information on the group structure, prices. But yeah, I also teach one-on-one, and people have such awesome results straight off the bat. Like, it seems like whatever is happening in the world, people are picking up remote viewing a lot faster than they did when I was doing my own training. It took quite a while for me to like really grasp it, and yeah, it's a magical time to be alive, that's for sure. And they are, if you haven't done remote viewing before, if you have no like any sort of training, we have to start at the Voyager, and that's kind of teaching you how to probe, how to pick up just basic targets, and then with that you can build up to the more serious thing, more complicated targets. And this lesson will be in Farsight Prime, so if you missed it, you can always like do these sessions there. There's also, Farsight has a wealth of training programs, of training classes that are there. It's a fantastic way to get started with remote viewing. Remote viewing can absolutely be taught, yes, just like everything else. And if you detected someone, maybe ask yourself why. You know, Hitler had a lot of negative qualities, but he was a go-getter, so I'm assuming, is that why you deducted me? Is because I get stuff done? Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay, so we're gonna sign off. Thank you everybody for joining, for taking your time, and for helping the collective consciousness. The more people who can do this, we're going to raise the vibration of the planet. And yeah, we're going to get things done. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Have a great rest of your week.